In this video, I want to talk to you about developing or maybe reigniting the will to win. Now, everybody got their own definition and version of what it means to win. When I'm talking about having the will to win, I'm talking about having the will to put me and my family, my community, my legacy, and the generations to come in the best position possible. So, of course, that means I want to win spiritually. I want to win emotionally. I want to win mentally. I want to win physically. I definitely want to win economically. But in order for me to experience, in order for you to experience, in order for us to experience that type of win, it's going to require will. A lot of people get it twisted. They think just because they have skill to win, that they don't need will to win. But I can promise you this, as a preacherpreneur, someone who has operated in both capacities from a spiritual perspective and an economic perspective, if all you depended on is your education, your skill ain't gonna keep you when certain challenges come up that require your will to keep you. If all you have is intelligence and the ability to articulate certain ideas, if all you depend on is your relationships and networks and things that you have conjured up in your natural life to get you the win, your wins are going to be short-lived. But when you have developed or perhaps reignited the will to win, it changes the dynamics of everything you do. So what exactly does it mean to have the will to win? What it means is you have a deep driven desire. You have a deep driven desire. And we're going to talk about where that desire needs to come from, or where that desire needs to be unearthed from, just in case you ain't operating in that deep driven desire. But the will to win is a deep driven desire to do. I want you to understand what I'm saying. It is a deep driven desire to do. So when I have the will to win, I have this deep driven desire to do, to get things done. God ain't gonna do everything for you spiritually. The Bible says in the book of Ephesians, chapter 3, verse 20, now unto him who is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all you can ask or think, according to the power that works in you. That's Ephesians 3 and 20. Now unto him, God, who is able to do. God has a will. He has a deep driven desire to do not everything for you, but to do a lot of these things with you and through you. So when you have the will to win in every area of your life, you have a deep driven desire to do. And in order for you to do things at a high level that guarantees you a win, you have to have a deep driven desire to become. You got to become a different person. You got to become a monster. You got to become a beast. You got to become a giant. You've got to become a different version of you. Because I know life can beat you down. People can beat you down. Situations and circumstances can beat you down to the point that you become a version of you that don't even have the will to win anymore. So the will to win is not just the deep driven desire to do, but it comes as a result of having a deep driven desire to become a different version of you. Not only that, it's a deep driven desire to achieve. It's just some stuff I want to get done. It's just some progress that I got to make in my life. It's just some things I need my mama them and my grandma them and my aunts and uncles and brothers and sisters and my wife and husband and children and grandchildren and colleagues and community members. It's just some things I need people to see me achieve in this natural life. And I ain't going to wait to see it happen. I'm about to make it happen. That's the will to win. That's the deep driven desire to become, to achieve. But in order to become and achieve, you got to have a deep driven desire to confront. What are you talking about? I got to confront. Yeah, you got to confront the lazy you. You got to confront the weak you. You got to confront the tired you. You got to confront the old you. You've got to confront some other people and places and things that have been blocking you and that have been used by you as an excuse to keep you losing and to prevent you from winning. You got to be willing to confront it. I'm not going to dismiss the things that people did to you, the things that hurt you and bruised you and wounded you and broke you. We've all been through those things in life. We've all had those types of people in and out of our lives. But at some point, you got to confront the monster and tell the monster, I'm the monster. I'm the beast. I'm the one that controls the narrative of my life because I have a deep driven desire to do. And in order for me to do enough to win, I got to become. I got to achieve. I got to confront. And in order for any of this to happen, I got to be willing to offend. Are you willing to offend the old version of you on behalf of the new version of you? And let me tell you this, a lot of times when you have gone through certain experiences in your life that have broken your will, you are no longer willing to go back to that moment of being broken and offend your offender. Now, that don't mean you got to call everybody that offended you and did you wrong and ask them for an apology. It don't mean you got to go back to the hood and to the degradation of your past and relive the mess that you done came out of. But what it does mean is there are some things you left at that moment of being broken, at that moment of coming out the hood, at that moment of being delivered from drug addiction. There are some things that you left there thinking that you didn't need no more that you're going to have right now. There are certain sides of you then that were like a dog. There were certain sides of you then that were like a beast. There were certain sides of you then that was like a monster. It amazes me how many Christian people I talk to who are so fascinated and inundated because they were saved by grace. And at the point of salvation, they were so fascinated and inundated with what God did for them spiritually, they left pieces and parts of them at that moment, naturally, mentally, emotionally, psychologically. And it has hindered them from being willing to win at the highest level. See, I wasn't raised in the church. I come from a background of drug addiction, criminal activity. I got saved in a trap house at 20 years old after being up high out of my mind 4 days straight. I spent my entire teenage years as a drug addicted criminal. But when I had that supernatural experience in that trap house on Saturday, October the 11th, 1997, as of the time of this video, approximately 28 years ago, when I had that experience, there are some things in me that died, but there's some other things that stayed alive. The grit, the grind, the warrior. There were parts of me that helped me navigate through the streets, that ensured that I did not become a victim and a statistic of that dark, degraded world. I came out of it. And when God saved me and delivered me and healed me spiritually, there are some things that I said, yeah, I'm going to take that part with me psychologically, mentally, emotionally, and naturally, because I'm going to need that grit, because I'm not going to live my life as a loser, heavenly bound and earthly no good. So what am I saying to you? What I'm saying is you got to get that will to win. You got to get that will to win. And if you're going to have a deep driven desire to do, you got to dig deep. You've got to offend the offender. You've got to confront the past. You've got to be willing to have such a deep driven desire to achieve and become that you ain't have no other choice but to do.